Hello, and welcome to the In the Beginning podcast. It is our mission to bring readers and authors together through reviews, discussion, and unique topic episodes inspired by the author or their work. This week's episode is brought to you by Shirts by Sarah. Head over to shirtsbysarah.com to find the shirt that tells your story. Remember to subscribe to this podcast to keep up to date with the stories and the discussions. This week, Marie Camera Frankie will introduce you to the Summer Springsteen song Save Me by Barbara Quinn, about a woman who came home to find her husband cheating and must now let go of her past, find freedom, and mend her broken soul. Pop on a little Bruce and allow the In the Beginning podcast to introduce you to the Summer Springsteen song Save Me.
The sighs from my supposed-to-be empty bedroom grow into moans, and my pulse thuds in my temples. I know the dark place might suck me in if I'm not careful, but I can't stop myself from looking. I peer through the half-open door. My husband crouches naked on the bed with his face buried between long, shapely legs. Gorgeous, oddly familiar legs. "Oh," groans the owner of the silky limbs. "Mm-hmm," answers Jerome. His rear wags from side to side. The two bald spots in the center of his butt cheeks stare at me, and my skin tingles the way it did when I drew too close to the sparklers little Benjamin played with on 4th of July. The bed creaks. After 26 years, the thing still makes the same noise. A chill winds its way up my back, and pain sears beneath my ribcage. My breaths rush in and out. How can he? What the hell? In our bed? Today of all days. Darkness grows and flames erupt behind my eyelids. In a red fury, I howl and charge. I whoop again and bear down on the startled couple. With a jolt, the name of the owner of the legs explodes into my mind. Mandy. I know Mandy. Sort of. Jerome's personal trainer, Mandy Malone. I slip on the area rug and lose my balance. Oh yes, I know Mandy. At the gym Christmas party, Mandy's hips sported a short pink thing that appeared to be more like a headband than a skirt. The Christmas party was where I saw those legs before. Mandy jumps out of bed and pulls the covers around her. She cowers in the corner. I'm not proud of what I do next. I grab a red high heel from the floor and climb to my feet. Taking aim, I hurl the shoe, but Jerome rolls away and the stiletto lands on the pillow. I reach for one of Jerome's wingtips resting annoyingly on the floor besides a pair of red panties and matching bustier. I launch the shoe, and the ever-athletic creep dodges and leaps from the bed. A pink rubber phallus lands with a thunk, and a yowl bursts from deep within me. Sex toys? You're using sex toys? My hands grasp the floor lamp and level it like a spear. "Soph, cut it out." Jerome's voice quavers, and he holds his hands over his privates. Yanking the plug from the wall, I swing the lamp in a circle with no idea of what I'm doing, acting on instinct. I run towards him, but Jerome darts out of the way. The lamp smashes into the headboard, shattering bulbs and sending the pull flying from my hands. Shards of glass cover the bed and floor. A tiny red mini skirt and pink tank top catch my attention. My God, she must shop in the children's department. And what an awful color combination. "Soph, this isn't doing anyone any good. Can we talk?" He was bobbing and weaving now, waiting for the next assault. Talk? Talk? What's there to talk about? My brain sizzles and my thoughts stab mercilessly. I seize his bilt from the floor and hurl it, grazing the top of his head. "Do you remember when we bought this bed?" No answer leaves his lips. "I do." I snatched up the other wingtip, and this one catches him on the back. "We couldn't afford it, but you wouldn't take no for an answer. You said it would last a lifetime." I rip at the all-cotton sheets, yanking them off the mattress. "I just bought these at Macy's. I changed the bed yesterday. You told me polyester blends make you sweat." "So does she," I yelled, jerking an arm towards the cowering blonde and fighting the fury twisting inside my gut. Jerome approaches the closet. His hairy bare rear with its Orphan Annie blank orbs shine in the morning light. I tug on the curtains, and the metal rod falls and we both reach for it. He twists hard, and I let go, causing him to lose his balance and send the pole clattering against the oak flooring. I swoop up the rod in a death grip and connect with the back of his knees. He falls to the rug and writhes in agony. "Stop," he shouts. "Sure," I said, launching myself on top of him and boxing his ears. "How's this?" He rolls to the side, throwing me off, and my face plants into the carpet. I scramble to my feet and collect the scattering clothing tumbling down the hallway in the spare bedroom. "Think, Sofia, think." I throw the lock and hit my palm against my forehead, wincing as my brain sends out shooting stars. I inhale, and an ache accompanies the air and settles into my stomach with an unpleasant heaviness that signals I won't dislodge the pain anytime in the near future. The dark place crowds the edge of my vision, and I move my eyes in a circle to keep it at bay. The dark place is number 2 on my list of worst things to ever happen to me. Finding Jerome in bed with Mandy follows close behind, displacing losing my childhood dog to a freak motorcycle chasing accident, which now drops 4th on my nasty memory hit parade. Jerome raps on the door. Sofia, Sofia, rap, rap. He calls louder. Sofia, open up. I want to talk to you. Rap, rap, rap. Go away. He rattles the knob and bangs harder. I spy my cell phone on the floor and collect it. If I hadn't forgotten my phone, I never would have returned home. My schedule usually goes off like clockwork. Nyack Meals on Wheels by 8 o'clock, followed by office and an hour and a half later. My hands tremble. I clutch the side of the desk. Do you do this often? Do you have it planned to the minute I go out? My question comes out eerily calm. No answer. An urge to leave becomes unbearable. I seize my purse and 2 plastic Walmart sacks intended for donations to Goodwill. Shaking out the bags, I fill them methodically with a few clothes I store in the spare closet. The master bedroom closet opposite the mahogany king I share with Jerome for the past 26 years. The bed where Jerome and Mandy were doing the nasty. The edges around my eyes flood with black ink. I stuff Jerome and Mandy's things into another bag and blink hard. Jerome bangs so hard the hinges shake. I force myself to finish packing, unlock the door, and push past still naked Jerome. At the sight of his pasty body, my stomach lurches and sends sour liquid into my throat. My eyes burn. Do you know what today is? I will my tears not to flow. Why give him that satisfaction? 3 paperbacks stand ready for donation at the top of the stairs. Though he dodges, the second one hits him in the side of the head and he yelps in pain. Too bad it's a soft cover. Too bad there's nothing else to loft his way. As I hurry down the stairs, my bags bump against my legs and my mind screams a million things at once. Jerome limps along naked behind me. Miss Leggy Blondness stays out of sight. I open the front door and my husband steps back, hiding it from the eyes of the neighbors. Soph, where are you going? Wait. I call over my shoulder. You're an asshole, Jerome. You always were. I haul the barbecue from the garage and dump Jerome's and Mandy's clothes onto the grill, dousing them with lighter fluid and striking a match. Flames shoot into the air. The fire smells good. Scrutinizing the neat houses of the neighborhood, I'm irritated by how no one stirs behind the well-maintained structures. Without a doubt, they watch and listen. I barely recognize the neighbors. They stay away and rebuff all attempts at socialization. Maybe they know something I don't. Maybe one of the things they know is that Jerome brings women home in my absence. I fling the door of my Camry wide and retrieve the keys in my purse. I toss the bag that holds my things into the back seat. Jerome calls out from behind the half-open door. If I'm so bad, why the hell did you marry me? Because I was an even bigger asshole than you. I pause. It's taken me years to figure this out. You've been a dog for as long as I can remember. It's good to finally admit it. Soph, don't go. I can explain. You always have a reason. I'm sick of it, Jerome. I really used to care about you. No more. Go explain whatever it is you want to explain to her. I jerk my head in the direction of the house. I climb into the car and back out of the driveway. Out of habit, I hit the brake and avoid Jerome's red Porsche parked in the curb. Jerome awarded himself the fancy vehicle when he won the latest antitrust case. I hesitate. Why not smack into his trophy and ruin it the way he ruined my life? But then my Camry would be wrecked. An idea dawns. I grab my house keys from the bag and pull alongside the Porsche and jump from my sedan. Standing in front of the coupe, I carefully carve the letter P, then R, on the hood. Flakes of red paint coat the key. Soph, stop! Not the car! Jerome's voice trembles with anguish. He scans frantically for something to cover himself and disappears. His unwillingness to be seen naked in public amuses me in an ironic way. The man is capable of shame, but not about shame for things that really matter, like our relationship. I want to tell Doc Phelps about this insight, but I've sworn to not see him again. I'm better. I can do this on my own. I dig with new resolve at the finish. The I forms easily, so does the C. The K comes out badly, but it's still readable. I underscore the word twice. The key scrapes against the paint, and the wine sends an enjoyable chill up my spine. Jerome stands in the front walk wearing only boxers he's apparently gone upstairs for and donned in haste. He stubs his toe on the concrete and hops on one foot in distress. I climbed into the car and sent him one finger salute. Gunning the engine, I tear down the block, glancing in the rearview mirror for the man who for many years was the center of my existence. His arms flail wildly, and he limps towards his Porsche. I turn the corner on the house and Jerome recedes. But Jerome fails to vanish. He and Mandy materialize right there with me in the front seat, making love with abandon, Jerome's head bobbing and Mandy's hands gripping the megaphone-like ears. Oh, oh, the sounds repeat in my head, making me want to clamp my hands over my ears, but I'm not so messed up to let go of the steering wheel. What a sad and infuriating situation. The darkness creeps around the back of my eyeballs. I dial on my car phone and grind my teeth as the electronic version of Amy's voice fills the space. The recording tells me to leave a message for A&S decorators. A is for Amy, S is for Sofia. My brain says time to add another S. A-S-S. Only an ass possesses the ability to stay with someone like Jerome. I blurt, "Call me, quick, the bastard. I'm through with him this time. You were right. Oh crap, I won't be in today. I'll check with you later." I punch the N key on the screen keyboard, cross with myself for being so upset. But it hurts to have found Jerome with Mandy. It hurts so badly. All his promises and declarations of love made sense the last time I accused him of straying ring howlily in my ears. So I want to believe him, and in love. Amy warned me not to trust him, but I chose to remember the good times in the beginning of our relationship and rely on the little deposits of faith left in our relationship bank. A sign for the Garden State Parkway catches my attention. I turn onto the parkway and press down the accelerator. No matter how fast I go, Jerome and Mandy keep up with me. Jerome's backside glares and stares in the sunlight. A ball of anxiety grows in my stomach and bounces up and down, the way Jerome's head bobbed between Mandy's legs. Details of the scene come into focus. Mandy's head lolls off to one side, her eyes close. She wears a bored expression, like she's thinking about how many loads of laundry she needs to wash before the end of the day. Not that I ever grew bored during sex with Jerome. Well, not at first. I slam the steering wheel with my fist. The dark place descends and enshrouds my brain. I need to go through the exercise Dr. Phelps has given me, but the steps become jumbled. Do I breathe and then count, or count and then breathe? Ideas race and the lump in my throat aches. Why had I pretended we had a marriage for so long? Why had I needed to stay with a man who grew increasingly distant? The solution eludes me. I concentrate on driving, calling out the mile markers and exit signs to keep the darkness away. I leave the parkway at Bradley Beach, a town I summered in several times with my parents and grandparents. Back then, the beach sun and sand occupied the days, and family dinners capped off each evening. We played board games and charades to amuse ourselves. I learned to fish and to swim long distances. We donned silly costumes for the 4th of July parade. We laughed more than we cried. The comforting memory swaddled me. Life used to make sense. No other place beckons. Why not land here? I follow signs to Main Street and pull into the lot for the first real estate agency on the block, Paradise Realty. A passing car blares Springsteen, and I close my eyes and listen. Jerome despises my passion for Springsteen. I love how Bruce understands things like anguish and the uncertainty of life. He knows bad times lurk around every corner, ready to lay anyone low. Jerome calls me a dolt when I say things like that. Unlike me, Jerome hurdles through his days with sure footing and single-minded purpose. He sneers at everyone who fails to keep up, me included. As the years went by, I found myself further and further back. In spite of Jerome, I know where I am is okay. Bruce gives me hope. He understands the darkness and illuminates the way. The familiar chords of Badlands pour over me, and I lose myself in the driving beat of a mournful sax. I like how Badlands ties up what I'm feeling in a neat package. The angry, driving call to push on no matter what nightmares I encounter shield me against the darkness, and I cling to the tune mentally and physically, folding my arms around my chest and bursting into song. Recognizing the bad taste of fear, I sing loud and rock until the dark place recedes from the small confines of the car and calm takes over. I repeat over and over the line about being caught in a crossfire. That makes no sense at all. I let out my breath and turn off the car's engine, wishing the boss songs possessed the power to permanently erase the image of Mandy and Jerome from my memory. I straighten up from the slump and, lifting my chin, call out to the distance. You can do this, Sofia. You know you can. If only I can believe my inner cheerleader. After a few moments, I step inside the air-cooled Paradise Realty office. I discover a woman in black, cotton pants and white blazer, trimmed with black piping, checking house listings on her computer. Her desk plate reads Terry Randall, Bradley Beach Broker of the Year. Her hair shouts too blonde, but her smile radiates genuineness, and when she says hello, her eyes emanate kindness. I learned long ago that someone's eyes tell me far more than their words or appearance. Terry Randall's pale blue orbs gleam mischievously and leave me with the impression she embodies more than a hard-driving real estate saleswoman. Terry's eyes linger on mine in a caring gaze. I unclench my fists as she introduces herself and points to the seat opposite her old mahogany desk. The interior designer in me notices the faded brown curtains hanging on the front window and the orange area rug that's seen better days, covering the floor in the front hall. The lack of modern furnishing surprises me, giving Terry smart appearance. Terry sends a welcoming smile and I sink into the chair. Are you new to the area? I wipe at my brow and offer a tears yes. It's a bear out there today, isn't it, hon? She's trying to put me at ease, but I can't bring myself to chit-chat. I nod and rub my thighs. What can I do for you? Are you looking to rent or buy? Rent. I know she's studying me and probably trying to figure out the meaning behind my monosyllabic answers. Terry rises. She's doll-like and perfectly proportioned, unlike tall and big all over me. How about a cool drink? Thanks. She pauses and winks. I can offer you a soda or water. I'd also might have a little brandy back there if you'd rather. My back goes straight. Is my tension so obvious? Water will be fine. I didn't offend you, did I? I'm sorry. Terry idly fingers a blue-green pendant that I recognize as Larimar. A stone Jerome once said reminded him of my eyes. I avert my gaze. Water sounds perfect. I'm not averse to liquor. I developed a taste for Jameson long ago from my Irish granny. But better to stay sober in strange surroundings with someone I know nothing about. Terry hands over a Poland Spring, and I uncap the bottle. I drink slowly and count the sips. Once, twice, 3 times quickly. The fog of fury and distress abates with the cool liquid, and soon Terry's patter about Bradley's real estate market blocks out all other thoughts. Within 15 minutes, she finishes assembling the paperwork for viewing properties to rent. My car's out back, Terry says. I follow her outside, glad to leave the dank office. Terry looks to be about 50, a birthday creeping up on me in a few months. She appears comfortable in her body and clothes, something I find soothing and admirable. Plus, Terry hasn't probed about why I show up in Bradley Beach with the demeanor of a crazed, displaced animal. She understands, or at least she respects privacy. All these factors make her likable. And her offer of a shot of brandy, which in retrospect might have done me good, tips the scale even further in her favor. I decide to like her. Terry beeps open her Mercedes. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to get to know this town and how close by everything is. It's good to be with a stranger, good to pretend life is normal. I tell myself the best part is I'm going to be able to escape from Jerome and move forward without him. Freedom beckons. I'm my own woman again. The flutter in my gut leaves me nauseated, and my armpits dampen with apprehension. I have 6 places to show you. Terry hands over a stack of listings. She flashes a grin. Your dream place on the water may be one of these. End of summer season is perfect time to be rental shopping. Inside, the cream-colored leather clings to the back of my thighs with annoying persistence, the result of a strong summer sun and high humidity. I push my baggy capris down past my knees and try hard to concentrate on Terry's words. Grandpa Pinto's mantra about healing echoes in my ears. The salt water heals everything, Cara. He always called me Cara, the Italian word for deer. Jerome, on the other hand, abhors pet names. The image of bobble-headed Jerome between Mandy's legs punches me in the stomach. An anxiety ball makes a little turn. I tried to remember the last time Jerome's head had disappeared between my thighs, but came up blank. What makes matters worse, Mandy's half my age. Half Jerky Jerome's age. Terry's spiels come as a welcome intrusion. Bradley Beach is a tiny town with a huge heart. I center my attention on her chatter and stop my inner dialogue. We did really well in Superstorm Sandy, thanks to our man-made dunes. Not much damage to the town, and we're grateful for that. The dunes saved us. I nod. So many places were destroyed. Our dunes are built from old Christmas trees topped with sand and seagrass. The storm washed the old dunes away, but the town gathered new trees after the holiday. It smelt like Christmas around the beach for the longest time till they covered them over with sand. That's a great aroma. Not what you'd expect when walking on the boardwalk, however. It's become a reassuring fragrance to the town. I remember that piney scent with fondness. My childhood jobs including watering our Christmas fir and sweeping up the fragrant circle of needles that fell at our handmade, colorful tree skirt. Terry pulls her Mercedes into the driveway and rolls to a stop. The structure before us appears welcoming, tidy, and a little down and out. The home radiates something special, something that makes me happy instantly. Architectural details adds to its allure. While any place decent will do, this goes well beyond decent. I want to fly under the radar and hide, and this quiet neighborhood gives me the impression of being a perfect place to hunker down and be away from prying eyes. Behind us, a car's radio blares Born in the USA. Curious, I turn and watch a black convertible pull into the driveway next door. The sandy-haired man in the driver's seat sings at the top of his lungs and bangs his hands on the steering wheel. He alternates his drumming with his little air guitar. He does neither well. Mr. Air Guitar gives off an aura of happiness and appearance that says, I'm carefree. That annoys me. I dislike him, even if he's a fellow Springsteen fan. He makes me think about the huge pack of trouble I'm trying to unload. The one named Jerome. The one who routinely porks his trainer. Still, nothing requires me to be a friend with the neighbors. Terry opens her door and climbs out. She waves at Mr. Air Guitar, but the man remains engrossed in playing and fails to notice. He strums a muscled arm again to the blast of the radio, and my ears grow hot. The guy probably knows nothing about the meaning of the song he sings. The mantra Born in the USA isn't a rallying cry for overzealous patriots no matter how many times they try to claim it. The howl embodies the pain of fighting and the despair of returning after war while having no job or place in the world, wrapped up in the flag and the confusion of life. The sadness of futility of the lyrics makes me uncomfortable. Something deep in my head laughs at me. I hate that sound. Doc Phelps wants me to keep track of when I hear it. This is a good block, Terry says, and the house is charming. I make an effort to concentrate on the structure in front of me, to take my mind from the music and the laughter in my head. The place appears to be a 1920s colonial, a vintage I have some experience with. The front porch sags, and the cracked wood siding bears one too many coats of paint. I rush at my khaki collared shirt and brown capris. The faded beige siding of the house and its accompanying taupe trim reminded me of my own attire. How pathetic. Even my hair exhibits the amenity and noticeable mousy brown. Gaz, I need to take control and change my dreadful appearance. The music stops and the neighbor springs from his car, pressing a cell phone to his ear. His shoulder taper to a narrow waist, and he exhibits a grateful, cheerful walk of youth, further cementing my displeasure. Terry says, You can hear the water from here, and you can see it really well from the top floor. We should go inside. To the right, a block away, the ocean rolls to the shore. Only a short walk from the house. The soft whoosh of the waves filters towards me, and I unclench my fists. My nails have cut lines into my palms. Off in the distance, church bells toll. Closing my eyes, I draw in the scent of salt and allow the humid air to coat my nostrils. Maybe Grandpa is right about the healing properties of the ocean. Terry calls from the porch. Come on, we have a lot of places to visit. She glances at her watch and flashes the grin again. Her teeth gleam too white, but I fail to find the glowing irritating. Terry harbors realness and solidity beneath the fluorescent smile and out of place in a beach community sky blue stilettos. I bet Terry doesn't have a man who cheats on her with his trainer. She possesses too many smarts to allow such a thing to happen. I smooth my hair in the passenger mirror. Stepping from the car, I gaze at the cottage and turn to the beach. I stop the rational side of my brain from protesting and go with my gut. I'll take it. Terry's mouth drops open. Don't you think you should see the inside? This place is great. I want to rent it. I send her a smile. I know from the expression on her face, she thinks I'm loony. Terry's nailed it. But this type of impulsive crazy makes sense at the moment. Nothing else in my life does. The straight and narrow good wife path has led to a sea of chaos. I did so much right for so long. I volunteered at the local church soup kitchen. I drove for Meals on Wheels. I worked hard to establish my interior design business. I enjoyed all the things and loved all the people I cared for, worked with, and met. I still do. Most of all, I took care of Jerome. I nursed him through illness and celebrated his victories. I listened to his complaints and kept him company when he was down. I even made sure to keep the house stocked with foods he liked, though I never ate them. I kept the dark place at bay for ages and never burdened him when it threatened. I hate how I encased myself in a false bubble of belief that those motions protected me from arriving where I am today. Sign me up, I call. The image of Jerome and Mandy flashes again. The anxiety ball does a dipsy-do, and a shooting star rounds the bend and lights up the back of my eyelids. How could he? Terry removes the key from the lockbox. She beckons. You have to come inside and see more than you can from out here. Hear me? Terry is definitely a good egg. Fine, I'm coming.
What lays ahead for Sofia? Will she be able to move on and find the freedom she so desperately wants? Will the boss save her soul? The summer Springsteen song Save Me is available on Amazon. Remember to leave a review for this story and all other stories you read when you finish. And help the Indie Beginning podcast by leaving a review for us as well on Apple Podcasts or wherever you found us. Reviews are so important for any project and help us bring you the best content possible. Tune in next week when we speak to indie author Barbara Quinn about her thoughts on the healing power of music and other forms of art in general. Indie Beginning is an ACN Books production. All readings in this episode were performed by Marie Camera Frankie with permission from the author. All production, editing, and everything else we do was done by myself. I am your host, Benjamin Frankie, asking everyone to read more books, be the best possible you, and to simply enjoy this wonderful life. Thanks for listening.